and welcome to Football Bloody Hell. Yeah, bloody hell, we're actually here.
I know. There was a lost episode in between all of this, though.
Yeah, we did record one. It was one of the best episodes we've actually recorded, and we're not just saying that because it got lost, but genuinely it was. And unfortunately, I recorded with no audio whatsoever, so it was basically me just nodding along to Gary speaking for an hour.
Well, yeah, pretty much what it
Standard
was.
Anyway, standard. I think that's...
It's long overdue, this, mate, as we were both just saying. But for anybody who watches and listens to this and they get any sound effects from me, indulge me a little bit because
Face full of tacos.
yeah, I've got a face full of tacos. I've ordered from here's an endorsement to Waka Tacos.
Is it Oaxaca?
Pronouncing Oaxaca.
Oh, Oaxaca's nice.
Taco. That's where they're from. Because I'm in London tonight. In hotel room in South Kensington. It's very nice. I went for a little wander around Chelsea. Realised what real wealth is. And then we're recording the pod tonight. So
Indeed.
It's long overdue, mate. And it's great to see you. And hopefully everybody's happy that we're back. To whoever listens.
Yeah, listens or watches, if they like watching our mugs. So, yeah. Then...
I'll treat it to tacos this week.
Yeah, enjoy it. So we're going to do a bit of a pod based on a match that happened Sunday afternoon. Was it, Gary? I think you want to talk about this one. I think it's made you feel a bit incensed.
I don't know. Incensed is a bit like... I don't know. There's just a lot of apathy at the moment, so I think this episode is football therapy. So if you will, for the next 20-odd minutes, however long we're going to stay on this podcast, I just want to air some dirty laundry, as they say, just to see if I am a bitter person or if there is some, I don't know, it's going to be a rant, let's say.
There's some substance to your rant.
There is a little bit, because... If you weren't living under a rock, Newcastle United, yeah, as always, Newcastle United won the Carabao Cup, and it's their first major honour. I'll come to major honour in a little bit, but it's their first major honour in 70+ years, and I don't know, because the dust settled a bit. We're recording this now, a couple of days after, and I think the bitterness of it is... It's still there, it's still at the back of the teeth, but, like, in reality, if we just go off the game, like, they deserved it. Like, they were so much better than Liverpool. Liverpool just looked like a team who weren't interested in that trophy and were purely competing because they were in a final, not because it was a priority.
Yeah.
And Newcastle were all over them from the get-go, which is, again, hard. Like, actually, it makes it easier to take because at least they didn't steal it. It was like the last minute and they won it that way. They are the right, and as painful as that is to say as a Sunderland fan, yeah, they deserved it and fair play to them, but it's just now they're going to dine out on the Carabao Cup for Christ knows how long. And there's two routes I can see this going down. Is either one, that this is the beginning for Newcastle, because now they've won a trophy. Eddie Howe's won something for them. There's talk of him trying to get, like, should there be a statue because of, like, he's done more than the last 70 years than any other manager, really. Yeah. And this is the beginning of them start to get a foothold in the English game. Or the other one is that they've won the Carabao Cup and it's very much like an entitlement, and they go, well, it's all like, we need more and this, that and the other, and it all goes Pete Tong for them. So I feel like Newcastle's probably at a crossroads, and as a Sunderland fan, I think it's the kind of thing that they're just going to hold over us now for a very long period, because there's always fractions of different fan groups whereby you get your idiots, right? It doesn't matter what what club you're a fan of, you're always going to get, like, the fraction of idiots who are just like...
Oh, yeah.
They're not bothered about the football, they're just bothered about having a go at somebody and having something over them.
They just want to scrap or something, don't they?
Essentially, or just, like, troll, basically, I think. but there was just so much stuff, and I would like to think that Sunderland fans wouldn't be this mad. But like today, for example, when I was commuting down, bearing in mind I got on the train in Newcastle and came to London, the amount of people wearing like Newcastle polo shirts and Newcastle this and Newcastle that, and I was just like, you're going to London. It's not like you've conquered London or something, or like you've beaten like a London team and you want that confrontation. It's
we've won the freedom of London now. it's you beat a team from Merseyside, like
I know. I think the majority of people are probably happy. Exactly. I think the majority of people are probably happy, like a neutral. They're probably happy for Newcastle because hey, they haven't won anything for God knows how long. Well, I know how long, but I just think it's nice to say.
Wow.
How long?
If you count the Intercities Fairs Cup, it was a bit less, but yeah.
No, we don't include that. But
all the Intertoto in 2006.
That does not count. Taught in English major honours, but never mind. I just think like if Sunderland won a cup, like we've come close. Obviously, well, I say close. We won the first half against City. That was good if we come and got big.
You get a trophy for that.
Nah, you never know. We might get granted a trophy, but like. I don't know if it's just me. But this is why I'm saying football therapy, Matt. Is it just me being bitter, thinking that it's odd that fans of a football club 2 days after the game's been played are wearing their shirts to go to another city? Like, or is that just me being like, would I like personally? I wouldn't do it. That's where I'm kind of thinking that's just that as well. But then
I've witnessed it quite a lot. To be honest, whenever a team wins something, all the shirts come out, all the things come out. Like, down here it happens all the time, but like, I know it's obviously, it's Newcastle, Sunderland up there really, and it, like, you don't really, I imagine there is people that support like Man United and Liverpool and whatnot, but then down here it's spread all over the shop, you know what I mean? And like, it's, when you see someone win something, all of a sudden all the shirts come out. Like, all of a sudden. I imagine exactly the same happened in 2011 when, like, Birmingham won the Carabao Cup. All the Birmingham City shirts came out.
All the Birmingham City, like, walking around, like, I mean...
Actually, saying that, can you recollect when Middlesbrough won it in 2004?
It's difficult, though, because there's, like, for Sunderland, there's... I know Borough fans, and I've worked with Borough fans, but, like, you have to travel a little further south before you start to see it a bit more.
Yeah.
There are Borough fans who commute up the A19 into Sunderland, but I can't really remember even when they got to the Europa finals, like, I couldn't really remember seeing it.
I think the biggest
Newcastle...
thing... Yeah, the biggest thing for me that is probably similar is, like, you know when Man City just started winning things, or Chelsea just started winning things, you wouldn't see those shirts at all. You wouldn't really see anyone wearing them. All of a sudden, overnight, everywhere, people are walking around the street with them. This is one of the weird things I saw when Leeds got promoted under Bielsa. I saw a ton of Leeds United shirts in Whitney, like, so in the town I'm from in Oxfordshire, like, and I have no idea why the fuck there was a load of Leeds United shirts, but they got promoted from the Championship. Leeds United shirts all came out. It was warm, I guess, but but fuck me, like, but I think it's sort of a similar thing like that, innit? They're living off that. They'll wear their Newcastle. Those people who are wearing those Newcastle shirts probably ain't taken them off since Sunday, and they probably won't take them off for another month until their missus says you probably should put that in the wash. Like,
this is like, just I'm sounded off to you because obviously around me it's either I speak to my friends who are Newcastle supporters or Sunderland supporters, so I only get a biased view. So it might be being a little bit too harsh there. But it's just...
I mean, it is mental, though. Like, I still think it's mad.
It's normal, but it's mental.
Yeah, I think that's where we're saying.
You might expect to see as a... Okay.
It's
I'm happy
normal,
to land on that.
but it's mental.
It's-
Let them
well,
have
the
their
other
15
thing,
minutes. Like that's
yeah. Well, this isn't going to be 15 minutes. Like, I mean, to be fair,
it is
Sunderland,
if they
we've
don't win
dined out.
another thing for 70 years. So.
I'm hoping they don't. But the thing is, like, we've talked about, like, I mean, we don't actively go around and say we won it in 1973, but it was like something like we've that's our last major honour that we've ever won as Sunderland. So we do kind of hold on to 73, which you would instead of them make a force. This is where I started to realise I'm a little bit bitter. I'm happy for me mates, which is hard to say as a Sunderland fan because, to be fair, like it's nice to see them like get emotional with like their dads and stuff and their like family being like, oh my god,
You just wish it was you, don't
actually, yeah, essentially, yeah.
Yeah, so do
I
I,
wish
mate.
I had that mum.
So do
Yeah.
I.
To
Not
be
even
fair,
close.
I mean, like League One playoffs, like being sat next to my brother and my dad, like it was amazing because I was like, I've got to see my club win at Wembley, and we've tried so many times in my lifetime, and I cling on to that because I didn't cry or anything, but I kind of fell into the romantic kind of feel of it because I was like, wow, like this is probably like one of the only times me dad and my brother will be together at Wembley seeing Sunderland win. We've been there and seen them lost together, but like lose together, sorry.
Did you
But we
go to
managed to see them win.
uh, what was it called then? Johnston Paint Trophy final?
No, so the funny story with that is that my brother and my dad did. They got tickets to that. But I was flying to Tenerife on the day of the final.
Ah, okay.
So, so when we got on the plane, we were boarding the plane. Aidan McGeady scored, and then by the time we'd landed in Tenerife, I'd realised we'd lost on penalties. I was like, "This." I remember my wife turned to us and was like, "I was just sat like, probably no, because it went beyond what level of trophy it is because it's a tiny little trophy, but it was like, we're going to Wembley, we've got a chance to win." We've lost so many times at Wembley, we could break the duct. And I remember my wife just turned to us on the flight and she said, "You've got until we get to the hotel to sulk, and then as soon as we get to the hotel, you switch into normal mode and you forget it." I was like, right, okay. And I remember being on the bus just bouncing around on the coach like this, like, I'm so sick, it's never good, why is it never us? But like,
You did
just
win
going
it a
back
couple of
to-
years later, though.
We did when it was during COVID when we weren't allowed
Yeah.
fans there.
Big zero attendance.
I know that's like some experience. Don't want
Win a trophy when no one can watch.
But so to circle back and going all corporate, just to circle back on that, I think like that was that the fan behaviour, that kind of thing. I think we've leveled out in the fact that it's weird, but it's probably to be expected with football fans. So
Yeah.
I'll move on from that and just say Gary put it to bed. But this is where I'm going to go into full where mode. I think like on on the Saturday before we played Coventry, so I don't know if you know the background of Coventry and Sunderland's rivalry.
Not
But,
necessarily,
like, I mean,
no.
Yeah, I figured because it is just like between us two. But the top and bottom of it is when we were playing in the old first or second division. I can't remember now actually. But the top and bottom of it is Coventry kicked off late. They found out our result, we were getting beat, so they could just play out a draw. And it was all
Right, yeah.
nil and all that kind of stuff. But so we've got an intense rivalry with them for like the weirdest reason. And then on top of that, we've had like a lot of issues with their fans. Like they were throwing coins and bottles down from the top, and it's a bit nasty. But it stems from the Jimmy Hill kind of thing. And I woke up Saturday morning, obviously thinking about the cup final as well. I'm thinking, oh, here we go, and going to Coventry. And Sunderland haven't been playing that well as of late. Got some results, but I just seen it happen. I was like, we're going to get battered off Coventry, and Newcastle's going to win the cup. And obviously, like you cling on to a little bit of like hope, and oh no, we'll get a result. We might get a result, and even if we do lose, Liverpool will beat Newcastle, like surely. And sure enough, in typical Sunderland fashion, we get battered off Coventry, clearly like deserved winners, no issues about that. And then watch Newcastle absolutely dominate Liverpool, and I was just like, if this isn't like a poetic summary of what it is to be a Newcastle fan, yes, I'm sorry, but they go crazy. In a Sunderland fan, this is the weekend that sums up how it's been for Sunderland fans. So, with that in mind, Matt, since my kind of conception of being a Sunderland fan, I came to the the conclusion that I'm supporting Sunderland through the worst period of its history. And can I list some of the things that I've seen as a Sunderland fan?
Yeah, go on.
Just in that, just because this is, like I said, it's a therapy session.
Yeah.
Kind of lost my mind over the weekend, and I just want to offload it as a neutral. So, in my lifetime as a Sunderland fan, I have seen full relegation from the Premier League into League One. Some fans never experienced that. Tick that off as a Sunderland fan. Loser of the greatest playoff final ever. Voted the greatest playoff final 4-4, and I think it was 6-5 on penalties or 5-4 on penalties. I can't remember. We lost that. Great. Double final loss in the same season. You alluded to it. The Papa John's trophy, as it is known now. Papa John's and the League One playoff final in the same season. I've seen us have the worst points total in the Premier League, which is now but we had that period of time. Our worst ever finish in history, I've lived through that. The worst ever ownership in Madrox. I don't know if you're familiar with it, but Sunderland fans will be, the Alvarez transfer saga where we signed a player on loan, signed him, but then he had injury that we said he already had, but then the club were like, no, you have to pay us the 10 million extra that you said you were going to. We lost that case. We had to pay 10 million for a player who barely played for us. And a paedophile.
Oh, yeah.
Just to throw that out there.
I would say, yeah. I mean, when you put it that way. To be fair, though, I think you've listed a lot of that, and a lot of that is what... Yeah, it is quite recent memory, isn't it? But you are sort of coming out of that. I think the problem here is you are coming out of that slump now, but then Newcastle have got taken over by Saudi Arabia, and this is what's playing on your mind, like, for fuck's sake. But if you take Newcastle out of the context, you are coming out of that slump a little bit. Like, you're in a better position than you probably have been in a long time right now.
Yes, I would say so.
So you're out of the trough. Well, you're dragging yourself out the side of the car crash that you just had at the side of the road. The car's on fire. You left it behind. You got a mangled leg, but it's gonna be all right. And then your best mate's driven past in a Ferrari that he's just bought off a Saudi. There we go. That sums it up.
To make that analogy more perfect as a Sunderland fan, not only has drove past you and flown past you and thought, yeah, in the back of my mind, I feel like I've left something in the car because I've got to go back, and I know it's going to come back. That is exactly what it is to be a Sunderland fan. I'm still in the fucking car, mate. I didn't even go out yet. But do you know what it is? Despite all of that, obviously there's good stuff along the way. I am joking here, but like, I wouldn't change it. Like, I couldn't support another club.
The thing is, though, you think of the excitement. I know there's a lot of like weird crap that's going on there, but then there's a lot of excitement. Like, you don't get that excitement with a team that just sits in the middle of the Championship or League One for 50 years and does nothing. Like, I'm actually quite happy that we're just in the middle of the league for the first time in God knows how long. So, like, yeah.
I know. Like, the thing is, like I say, and I do say it in jest, and I've got, like I say, a lot of Newcastle fans that, well, a lot of friends who are Newcastle fans, not a lot of Newcastle friends, but I'm pleased for them. They've got a moment and I probably think I am just a little bit envious of the fact that they've done it. But I will leave this episode with the line of this isn't a bit of map at all. This is being really kind of gracious when I say this, but if you have to spend £500 million to assemble a squad to win the arguably in the top tier of English football, the lowest ranked domestic trophy at the second attempt, then I'm not really that well done. And that's the end of the therapy session, Matt.
I think we've resolved a few issues there. And you've aired out your
Can we
concerns.
No, this is purely football pod, right?
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate it, mate. I appreciate
That's all right, buddy. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to listen, mate. And I know you've had a hard time of it over the weekend. So, like...
I know. Well, in fairness, though, I think I'll leave it there for my woes in this episode. Next episode, I'm going to kind of try and probe you on how you're feeling. Because you had a certain game. But let's leave that for the next one.
Yeah, let's leave it for the next one. But thanks for listening, everyone, to Gary's rants about Newcastle and the way he's feeling and the fact that his club harboured a paedophile. But we shall see you in the next episode.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.